G'day and welcome back for more Survival Impossible, and right now I'm feeling pretty glad that I have people looking over my shoulder when I'm playing this, because apparently there might have been some smoking bits on my drill on the launch air base. So I'm going to go check out something quickly. Go inventory and check drills. Are there any that are stuck full of stone? There aren't. Huh. So none of the drills appear to be blocked, yet there do appear to be some damaged ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to the planet. Well, I'm going to go down far enough that my rads go down, and then I'm going straight back up to the launch air base to see what's going on there. So I'm going down and then straight back up. Although, look at my hydrogen, I probably want to go down, refuel, and then go back up, and then I've got more fuel up there, so yay. At least I know that I'm not deleting any material. The other thing I'm going to do when I get back up there is I'm going to put a little control seat thing near my drill, or on the drill, and put a camera on it so that I can remote in and see what the drill is doing with a camera from either the planet or the shuttle or wherever I happen to be. Because I think that is important. And now I get to find out how low my rad level gets before I land. Oh wow, it really does take a while for the rads to come down because I'm at 0 rad level and my rads are still 95. Yeah, how long am I going to have to stay here for? My rads are just down to 94 now. 93, yeah, this is going to take a while. Alright, what can I do down here while I'm waiting? Oh, I know what I can do. This is my main communications part of the base, which means I think it's the perfect location for me to change one of the LCDs that's in here to list all of my different communications channels. So that's all the channels that the action relays work on. And I think maybe I could put panels one there, one there. That could work reasonably well, I think. There we go. So we have action relay channels, ODP2, broadcast, range change. Now, if I remember any of the others at some point, I'll have to remember to come down here and change the LCDs down here so that we have all this info here. I've got the two of them because as I add more, I'm probably going to need to split this between two screens to have it still be readable. But I'm just going to duplicate it until then, because otherwise having a screen just saying online seems a bit lame. Maybe I'll do something else to make this a bit more interesting as well. Change the background to 75, 105 for green and blue. And it now kind of blends in with the other ones. I don't think that's exactly the right blue, but it's pretty close. And those numbers are pretty easy to remember. But now it kind of fits in with more of the rest of the screens around here. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Cool. All right, so we now have a place for that, which is nice. Rads are down to 0. Time to go back up. I feel like I did have to wait till my rads were gone, because otherwise I was going to be up there for such a small amount of time that all the use of my fuel would have been wasted. Up we go. I did fill up my bottles before I left, and I did obviously eat and drink, so hopefully we won't run into too many problems there. This time I actually remember how my thrusters work, so that'll help too. So we're starting to slow down. We turn on, turn off the reverse thrusters, turn off the reverse thrusters, turn on the the event controller, and we should be good. There we go. Much smoother. So much better. The flashing from the station does not fill me with confidence. It really doesn't. Why is it sparking? That can't be healthy. That cannot be healthy. What is sparking up there? Because I don't have any exhaust blocks or anything up there, because that's usually what causes this sort of sparking behavior. For some reason the sparks don't scale with distance. I don't know what that is. Also, I really love using an event controller for controlling my thrust to get to space. This is amazing. This saves me so much effort and is such a tidy solution without needing a script or anything like that. I'm so glad I was encouraged to do this. Anytime I need to travel planet to space a lot, I'm totally doing this. Maybe even anything I build to travels to space, I'm going to do this because it's great. Oh, I hope I can see what's sparking when I get up there. Can I see any sparking? Oh, there is sparking from the drills, so maybe it's just the drill effects. See if I can spot that smoke from the drills. I can't see it from this distance, but we'll check it out closer in a sec. At least I can build the bigger tanks up here, since I think on this trip I will have filled up that red tank on my landing pad here. Tank. Pufferfish. Hydrogen tanks. Stockpile off. There we go. I've got more than half my fuel still on board. And that hydrogen tank there is now full. Awesome. Let's go check out this drill head. It actually all looks like it's okay. What I was worried about was that these drills were shaking enough to cause damage to these conveyor tubes here. And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to figure out a way to still have the drill head the way it is, but somehow conveyor in a safe direction. What some of you may have experienced a few times, and I definitely have, is a drill in this position, especially a small grid one, hooked onto an advanced rotor, damaging this advanced rotor part. That's why this conveyor junction's here, to space it out a bit more so that this is clear. And because of the way that the drills somehow caused damage to the rotor part, I was like, uh-oh, these corner ones are going to be causing damage to these bits here, these conveyor tubes. But thankfully it looks like we're in the clear on that. Now, are we already through the gold? Can't be. No. Still 27 meters from the gold. Alright, let's check how much iron we've got, and then I'll start building these hydrogen tanks. 753,000. We also have a lot of stone. Are the drills filling up? No, not yet. I've still got space in the cargo containers. That's something. Not a lot of space, but I got space. How many refineries did I actually build here? 6. Okay. But I could build more. I could fill in the gaps between them, and I could take it to 10 without having to mess with the conveying too much. I'll think about that. So these tanks that I had planned, I've put them on that conveyor line there because I was like, oh yeah, that should work. That should be tidy and kind of fits in with everything I built around here. Unfortunately, it's also a block too high, because if I want to build there, I'd need to remove some blocks that I don't really want to remove. Actually, what is blocking that? Got 3 blocks up there. Got 3 blocks. Oh, found it. It's the bit that's holding on this set of stairs. Okay. That's the problem. There it is. Aha. Aha. If I move my little neon tubes down to there and get rid of these ones right here, I can then put the tank in. Hooray! Now I can't put the one that I'd planned here because it is actually going to be in the way of this support. I could remove that support maybe for the sake of the twin tanks, and I think I will. I definitely don't need twin tanks. That's not necessary. Like, poop. That's not what I wanted. But I like the look of having 2, and if I do eventually get some sort of refueling drone running over here, I'm going to want 2. I'll need to build some supports under these, aside from the conveyors, but I think this should work pretty well. And I think I can do this all without using my jetpack. Oh, I can make the conveyor pipe caps red maybe. Because I was wondering how to bring some of the red warning back on this that I've got on the other tank. And that's totally the way to do it. Also, I ran inside past the recharge point.
Energy critical.
The recharge point that I apparently placed sideways. And yeah, I did. Well, that's going to stay that way for now. I also possibly should put this on the cargo container. So maybe I'll move one to the correct orientation on the cargo container so it can fill my hydrogen as well, and my oxygen. That would make more sense. So then I can go like this, and everything gets filled. I've still got cargo access via this. Sweet. 2 big hydrogen tanks. Now we just need to pipe them up. I don't remember what else I need to do up here. Most of the rest of this base is fairly chunkily supported. Like big beams of steel. So I'm going to do the same sort of look here. Just trying to figure out how it's going to work with all the other stuff that's around. And I don't want to do too much reworking of the conveyors if I can help it. There we go. Yeah, that looks much nicer. I just replaced the conveyor tubes with armored conveyor tubes to make it feel make it look a bit more reinforced. And I'm pretty happy with that. What I thought I'd also do is grab some of the armor plates and put them in there as well. With hazard. And I'm going to try something that I don't normally do, which is put hazard in red. See if that works. Not sure if it's going to be too much, but I was kind of thinking something like putting just one bit there and one bit there. Although we could maybe link it. It's a pity that if I put the piece there, which I really want to do, it'll look really weird. Though if it would have been battered like I did on the train, maybe even at this scale it'll look okay. Try it out. You know what? I kind of like it. I don't like the fact that that's rotated a different way because it's so much more obvious in the large grid, but there's not much I can do about that. It has to be done that way. Yeah. I like that this is adding a bit of color to this base because it is very, very monochromatic. What I should have done, and what I may well do with a bit more time, is paint all of the conveyors on here yellow. Maybe even the varying degrees of yellow like I have down on the station with a lot of my conveyors there. So I think having the conveyor lines actually colored is really quite nice. I should also probably grind down that catwalk that's just sitting there. I always like to start my builds in a monochrome, something fairly light colored, because it makes it really obvious if you've done something weird with the shaping. The temptation to make things dark colored is, I think, partly there because when you make it dark, it makes it harder to see when you've stuffed up. And so I prefer to make it easier to see when I've stuffed up so that I can fix it early on. Yeah. I mean, I'm continuing my fast food theme yellow and red, but it is what it is. There is a lot of interesting conveyor work around here, so I think it makes sense to draw the eye to it by giving it a bit of color. Because I built a lot of excessive, unnecessary but visible conveyoring when I built this network. The time that's been happening, how close have I gotten to the gold? Am I going to see the gold get mined while I'm up here? Maybe. Maybe. I'd kind of like to keep myself busy up here until that happens. I mean, if I spend a bit of time inside, it'll probably be fine. Alright, so if I'm going to put a cockpit onto the drill... where can I put it? I mean, I could put one just simply here. Doesn't give me an ideal view of things, but at least gives me some view. I don't think I've set this up in a way that I can really put it anywhere on the actual drill, though, because I've used standard conveyors, which are not going to allow me to easily reattach or detach and reattach bits of the drill, which is a bit unfortunate. So yeah, I think I probably want it here, which means the easiest solution is to put a standard cockpit because the conveyor points down. It means this will be pressurized. And I'm probably not going to be able to see much from here anyway, so I may as well just go with that one. And then I'll change out this block here. Or maybe change out a few of the blocks around here so that I've got it looking like I can easily walk up to the door at the back of the cockpit block. And a rail down here, that'll all look pretty tidy. Yeah. Still keeps the armor shape exactly as it was. Means I can walk up, hop in here. It's a pressurized environment, which means while I'm looking at the drill, I can actually see the drill pretty well. I will put a camera down there because I want to be able to remote into a camera on the drill. So I'm going to put a camera in a couple of spots, and I'll put the cameras on the hotbar here because I'm not sure what else to put on the hotbar right now. Most of the controls are not particularly hotbar friendly. I reckon a top-mounted camera here might get a decent view from further back. And then I can put one on here, which seems like it's going to be not very useful. Being realistic about it, but more useful than one on the rotating segment. So that's my front-mounted camera, which has turned... The drills have turned off. I guess my inventory is full. Did I have that set up to do that? And if so, how did I have it set up to do that? That feels somewhat familiar. But I would have set this up before event controllers, so this... Is there a script turning the drills off? Oh boy. Relearning things about your own base. And we're 16 meters from the gold. Yeah, the pistons are all off and the drill head stopped. What on earth is triggering that? Because I don't have an event controller. Drill PB text panel. Oh, I do have a script monitoring it. Which script was this? Oh, I have UFOL's script running. Wow. Yep. Oh, there's no reason for me to stop using it. It's working clearly because it's doing what it's meant to do for the drills. I can zoom in, I can look around with this camera, I can actually see what's going on, which is good. Okay, I think that tells me that it would be worthwhile for me to add the extra refineries onto this system. The basic refineries, because some of you may not recall, but in Survival Impossible, basic refineries are the only things that can refine stone. Proper refineries cannot do it. There was a period of time where I had not updated the mod so that the industrial refineries could do it, but I'm pretty sure I fixed that before I came back. So I'm gonna increase the number of basic refineries here because the drill is working way too quickly. And when I want to get that gold, we need to get the drill running again. Hopefully this doesn't chew up too much power. Also reminds me of something else that I think I forgot to fix. Yep, this refinery is off. There we go. 4 more refineries that should be running. I'll check them in a sec. Refinery, basic refinery. Yep, all of them have stone in them. Excellent. Now I had like 700,000 iron ingots and I still have about 700,000. Yeah, stone really doesn't refine to much in the way of iron. It gives me enough to do building projects up here, but I don't think it really is enough for me to consider it a viable way for me to get iron. That's while I've still got a bit more RADS exposure that I can cope with. Let's fly down here and have a look at what I might need to do to set up the iron drill down here to actually get through this deposit. Because we've got a deposit down here as well. We've got this drill head, but it is less than useful because it is not even hooked up to the inventory in any way, shape or form. It is connectable to the inventory via this chain of stuff that goes all the way back up to the top at least. So that's already in place. But how big a deposit of iron is this? It's not huge. I reckon possibly one of my better options down here might be setting up a rotating drill centered about here that pushes down this way as a way to get through that. So remove all of this drill that's here and build something out from that conveyor just over there. Yeah, I think that's going to be my best approach. So I can start removing this at least, because it's definitely going to be in the way. Is there anything in it? No. Oh, and I should build cargo access down here. That's what I need to do. That's the most important thing. Because otherwise, I can't get hydrogen and other things while I'm down here. Let's go get the stuff for a small cargo container. I should totally paint these yellow the whole way down too, because highlighting this system, that I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think I built this system before I did the one on the planet. And it is fun to build that stuff. It's fun to look at. Maybe not as fun to build, but it is definitely fun to look at. It's tricky to build, and it's time consuming. I don't think I'm going to get this drill built on this trip, so I won't worry about having to readjust what the timer block that stops the drills is going to do. But I'll have to make sure that I include that as one of the steps of things I need to do when I set this one up, because otherwise this one, working at the same time as the other drill, might end up overloading all of my cargo, which would be bad. What's in this little... What's this? Oh, the solar alignment programmable block is down here. What's in here? Hydrogen and oxygen. Nice. We will leave those. That's a good safety feature. I think that's also why I've got that seat down here. More safety feature. Alright, let's put an advanced rotor on the top here. I'm going with an advanced rotor on the top if it'll let me, which it doesn't look like it's going to. I was going to go with an advanced rotor on top because if I do it that way, I end up with the drills sitting a bit higher, which should give me enough room to actually build the drills over there to plunge down into the iron. Whereas if I went with a hinge on here, I'd probably be sitting a bit too low, and I'd have to drill out the iron to put the drills down, which is a bit of a pain. Now, how high is that over the iron? It's still probably not enough to do this easily, so I'll go a little bit higher. Oh man, I hate that my drill just disappears from my point of view. It's very disconcerting. Oh, what? Oh, that's the sparks. Oh. Yep. Yep. That's the sparks. This solar panel. Uh-oh. That's not where I want to be standing when I'm running low on hydrogen. Over a giant drop that will take me a long time, but will end in my certain death. Right, let's see if we can fix this solar panel, stop that sparking. We're at 75 rads, so I'm probably going to have to head home soon. I'm not going to get much more of this drill worked on. It is another one of those projects for up here that I'm glad to have gotten started on at least. Arguably, I could just get rid of this thing. It's not really needed, because I built the much larger one above. But it's already here, so I'm going to leave it. It's another one of those memories that's nice to have. I am going to get rid of this, though, just to make sure that there's that little bit of extra clearance there that is apparently required. I've probably gone about this in a little bit of a strange way, going up first and not going across first, but anyway, this will mean that this will be kept nice and clear out of the way when I put my piston, rotor, then drills down for this. Even though it does mean that I'm having to drill out some of this roof of stone. As we've proven before. Oh, wait, there's gold 46 meters away? That's not the gold I've got marked. Hang on. There's more gold here. There are 3 deposits of gold. I'm gonna have to mark that one. Hang on. Need to do that. Make sure I've got fuel before I fly out over the abyss. I've got Gravitoroid gold, which is the... I can hear the drill though. Am I close to the drill? Could that possibly be the same gold? I don't think so. Anyway, it's not important. I will mark it. Oh, I was worried. I'll mark it just in case. Try and get more building done before I run out of rad's limit. Let's go have a look. I had to come back up for food and water. Oh yeah, it's totally the same gold. And we're getting gold! We are into the gold. Also, we're not perfectly targeted on it, so I'm going to need to do another pass to get all of the deposit. Oh, well, I got pretty close. Next time I do the realignment, I can try and remember to do what people were telling me to do, which is effectively right-click mine to do my realignment so I clear out a whole lot of stuff beforehand. Maybe I'll remember to do that. We'll see. It'd be so nice to have this drill pretty much finished before I leave, because if I can do that, I'm then in a really good position, and that's too low. I'm then in a really good position to equip the pufferfish with its scanner and come back with my scanner and a bit more fuel, finish off this drill, and then go and scout for some more asteroids, because I haven't scouted for asteroids in a very, very long time. When I was setting up this drill, I was thinking, oh yeah, I should just be able to get the correct position overhead by using that rotor on the base here to swing it around and get the right spot there, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get the distance right. I really should have put a piston in there, but it's kind of going to be a bit fiddly to do it now, so I'm not gonna. I'm going to get rid of this stone though, because that's going to get in the way of it spinning around. 97 rads. Alright, yeah, I gotta go. Jetpack juice before I go. Okay, 99 rads. We need to unlock. Turn the thrusters on. Let's go. Let's accelerate downward, shall we? Try and speed this thing up. Come on. Come on. Don't die. Please don't die. It's going to take a little while before my rad level goes down. Please don't die. I didn't manage to bring any of the gold because I was rushing out so much. I have radiation sickness. How long does it take till it starts hurting me? Should it be hurting me already? I don't have any sort of invulnerability on or anything like that, so it's not that. I wonder if the mod's busted. Oh well, we've got the vanilla one that'll presumably be coming soon, so we'll see what it's like. I'm still going to treat this as though it's going to kill me. I'm going to fly over the drop pods. see how much it's worthwhile going over to them and collecting stuff, and see whether they're actually just entirely scrap. Yeah, the landing zone's worse. How is it worse? What are those? There are mag plates on the ground. There are just little random bits of mag plate. Okay, a couple of them have made it down with a decent amount of iron, and no, they haven't. One of them. So the one that got safely down has made it down with iron. 3 of them, all of the iron was destroyed. And one of them, half of the iron. Oops. Wrong way. Wrong way. Oh. Bad wrong. Bad wrong. Oh, what did I destroy? I think it was just an atmo thruster. No, tree, 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 no! Ah. Whoops. Actually, did I damage the hydrogen tank too? I think I did. That was some bad piloting. Oh. Huh. Did I just have big flames because of the hydrogen burning off? Because that tank was damaged, and now that the tank's empty because my hydrogen is just halved. I didn't think that was a thing. Apparently it is. That's cool. Love it when I learn new things that I haven't realized that have probably been around for ages. Because those flames just went out as the hydrogen tank drained of fuel. I knew they drained, I just didn't realize that it impacted the visuals of it. Oh, no, really? Oh, is there something on top that's damaged? Or is it... Oh, it's this light. Find the source of the smoke. Splitsy, not where it exits. Okay, let's check. Find attach, and then go and look through here. We should see if there's anything damaged. Nope, we're all good now. Whoops. I'm not having a good return. What did I cook? Oh, I've cooked the one that's directly under. There it is. There's the hole. Oh, we'll have to deal with that another time. Should probably be replaced with something like heavy armor anyway, so it doesn't get cooked. But I was planning on having a proper extra parking space for this at some point. Alright, so, jobs to do. I need to drive up and go and collect all those pods and see how much iron I have left after that. Oh dear. Such a mess. And grinders activate. Whoa! What the... Why? Why explosion? Why? Did I get any iron from that? Or did that just destroy all the iron? Oh, I should turn off the grinders before I go back in there. You know, safety. What just happened?
Inventory full.
Oh man. Why is everything turning into Explodium?
Inventory full.
These worked perfectly several times, and now, nope, you're just all going to explode. Please tell me I at least got one of the irons. Why is there iron in the cargo train? I did not, because there'd be... So that just lost another 70,000 iron. Why is this exploding? I don't have tool shake on, so there shouldn't be the grinders like flinging it into something. It just...
Inventory
I don't get it. Is the other iron down in here? Oh, it is. Phew. Okay. So at least, even though it's going to take a lot of effort, I didn't actually lose any iron. Or any major amount of iron. Obviously the components are worth more if I scrap them rather than turn them into scrap. Even if it does drive me a little bit mad with inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
Inventory full.
Okay, can I see any other scrap down there? Doesn't look like it. And can't see any ingots or anything from a connector. Not that there's much in it, because I don't have the large connector on this one. You guys go over there. Oh. Did I not actually set up this button? Yeah. Open to theories about why that might have exploded. Because I don't know. Also, people suggested using the cargo terminal half here, and yeah, they're right. Let's give it a go. I think it'll look tidier. I just completely forgot this existed when I was putting this together last time. And I'll flip the door around at some point, but probably not now. Let's get the catwalk fixed up. I wonder if the catwalks could be part of the problem? I don't see how they could be. My thinking is that maybe the landing gear locked, and maybe as the landing gear got ground down, then the pod's weight shifted in an awkward way because it sort of suddenly unlocked and suddenly moved, and that caused it all to explode. But I haven't got any other theories beyond that. I'll grab Manny and clear up the rest of this stuff. So we've got 227,000. So I got 3 cargo containers worth. Yeah, because that's like 78 times 3 is 230 something. Cool. That's, I don't know how much that's going to convert to. 6,000 is 45k. That's going to be a couple of loads. All right, that's all right. Could have been better if I had all of the iron from all those pods. You know what? I'm going to launch a pod from. See if it lands where I've marked. So I've marked with a GPS ODP drop site 93 because that was episode 93. This is episode 93. And I'll try and adjust. I'll try and make different drop sites when I do them. But let's see if we can launch remotely and see if it lands in the right spot. So we go launch air base. We go Oh wait, no, I did sit down somewhere so I can actually look through the camera. Let's find a seat. Should probably use my office since it's there. Another red battery. Launch air base. Camera. We want launch air tower cam. View. There we go. So I just want to change my remote access point to launch air base. Then we go hinge, Gravitoroid catapult hinge, and reverse. That should launch. Off it goes. ODP2 on the way. No destruction. No unnecessary rotation. Hopefully that means it's going to be nice and stable. So I want to see where that one lands, because that's... If it lands pretty much exactly where the previous one did, great. That means I can then start adjusting my angles remotely and trying to get this thing correct. Now I need to go back to launch air base, hinge, catapult hinge, reverse. Back down it goes, and a new one will print, and I'll be ready to go. Now, I also should probably check inventory. Gold. How much have we got? Oh, nice. Look at that. 830 kilos of gold. 570,000 plus what's being refined in the refineries. Like 600k of gold ore. How are the drills doing? None of them seem to be broken because they're all the named ones. Ones that are just unnamed are the new ones that I haven't yet welded up on the new drill for the iron. Cool. The base still has probably enough iron for, what's that, another 4 pods? So there's not very many. Is that pod coming down? Let's go drive and see if I can be there when it lands. ODP2, 21k's up. I'm getting a little bit distracted by this, but it means we'll get more steel plate for the rail more quickly, so that's nice. Actually, it'd be interesting to see what the timing difference is. how much time I need to wait between launching and driving over to the landing zone. My ideal landing zone, by the way, is probably behind the base, over near where the rail is, or just at the bottom of this hill right here. If they drop somewhere around here, it would be pretty good, but I would rather them at the top of the hill. Yeah, I don't want to be parked too close because I really don't want to get hit by the thing. That'd be bad. I really hope this one doesn't explode, but I suspect that the sizable mass that these have is why they're exploding. Also, I am noticing the flickering of sparks coming from the launch air base again, so I clearly did not fix it by fixing that solar panel. What on earth else could be making that flickering? Also, that it's visible at 30 kilometers is ridiculous. How close is this to the drop site? If I can get this dialed in, at least for iron, I probably could make... it'd have to be quite a large grinder pit, but I probably could make a grinder pit where these things just land and get instantly removed from existence. It is a lot more precise than I expected. I'm not going to do that, because I don't think it's... Like, I think it's going to need too many grinders. It would need to be too large an area. I think it's still sort of like 50 meters across the landing zone, but that's pretty good for a catapult at this sort of range, I would think. There we go. Ready for pickup. Yeah, it's probably more like a radius of 30 meters to 40 meters across. That's that's an enormous grinder pit. It's not really feasible. Now, drop pod, don't explode this time, please. I don't want to have to handle all of that iron again. It was really annoying. And I don't want the iron destroyed if it gets destroyed. Though it does seem to always drop, which is at least good. There you go. I tried to get it to settle into a better spot. Let's see if that makes a difference. Probably too far forward, but we'll see. Hey, nothing exploded! Woo! I mean, that's too far forward, but nothing exploded. Just got the iron. Sweet. That's much better. Satisfying. Alright, so ore scanning. Now, I don't have any room between the seat and the glass. I could technically move my control seat back one block and then put a little LCD in front, but I don't really want to, so it's kind of annoying. Alright, I'm gonna have to take off. Let's do this. Hope I can get back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this at my thruster and put it further back. So all the way back here. Then I'm going to put my ore detector at the front. Pretty much as far forward as it can go. So the ore detector will have a clear line of sight, which it needs to have for the radio spectrometry mod. To make the thruster look a little bit less like an internal thruster, let's put some slopes here. So we should have enough clearance there with there being 2 blocks between the thruster and these bits of armor. This one should also be clear anyway, even if it was in that space, I think, because I think its collision is just low enough. But yeah, the ore detector should be safe. Now what I need to do is figure out how I'm going to do the LCD and also how I'm going to get back in. Which I think I'm going to need to build a ramp to do. It's just a little bit too high. Oh, I have an idea. I have what might be a great idea for the LCD. Yeah. If I have like my scanning set up here where I go to this camera, which aligns me to the asteroid, so I can line it up, get it perfect. I could then have a second camera that I switch to that's just staring at the LCD with the readout. And so I scan, find, check the readout, nope, move on. Rather than having an LCD that's sticking up off the roof, which is what I've usually done in the past, where I've got like a camera set up. Oh, nuts. I thought I'd make it up on the roof that time. Really thought I'd do it. What I'd usually do is basically stick a transparent LCD right in front of the camera. But I think that'll be really ugly here. So I really don't want to do it. What I'm thinking is maybe I can cut into the middle here and there'll be enough room inside for me to place down a camera and an LCD in front of it. So let's see if I do have enough space in the back here. Ah, yeah, there we go. Perfect. The other option that's, again, too gamey for my taste, but totally works, is you can actually just put a big LCD on the back of your ship and have the readout there. And hopefully this camera will actually be able to read that LCD. For those of you unfamiliar with the radio spectrometry mod, the reason I really like it is because it creates a new mini game for scanning asteroids. And you can scan asteroids at big distances. So as long as you can see the asteroid, you can scan it. So we'll have the view to scan, then we have the view to read the readout. What we need to do is, as I've done with the ore detector, put it on the outside and it needs to be pointing the direction you're going to be looking. So you want it pointing forwards or whatever direction your camera is pointing, so that you're pointing your camera at the same thing you're pointing the ore detector at, because it actually does have a direction. Unlike the vanilla one, which has no direction, it's omnidirectional. So then we need to set up our LCD, and I've got a text panel. So we'll go puffer, fish, spectrometry, LCD. Then we go with apps, radio spectrometry reader. Then, in theory, if I look at this camera, I can get the readout. So it'll scan any asteroid around you, and it'll be looking for things that we might be able to find. And it looks like I've got some some things that have changed because of the Vanilla Survival Experience mod, where I've got impure mag, silver, cobalt, nickel, iron, silicon, and platinum and uranium. which are different to the gold, silver, iron, and stone that are out there. So we'll see what we find on the asteroids. I'm curious what I will actually spot. But yeah, it looks like I can read this and just swap between cameras. Read, scan, read, scan, read, scan. And that's pretty efficient to me. I actually kind of like it. Having a hidden reader somewhere in the ship. I'm probably going to do that more often because it is aesthetically a much nicer outcome. Cool. We'll also go with popping in the cockpit, disconnecting, and Control B. So the pufferfish gets updated. With the pufferfish done, I'm going to go up to the train and I'm going to improve its safety device, and then we're going to take it into Sim and test it. See if some of the ideas you guys gave and some thoughts that I've had as well are enough to make our safety device effective. So the main suggestion that I think is going to make the biggest difference to the safety device on this was to remove the sensor from its current position and put it on a hinge at the front. And I think that's going to make a big, big difference. Because by putting it on a hinge, I can project it forwards and pick up rail that's far in front rather than rail that's just... Oh, well, that didn't hurt more than that. That's just a little bit in front. Let's put a slope down here so I can get up. So we'll remove this safety sensor. And then what I can do is put a hinge either up here or even where that bumper is. I think I might put it where the bumper is. There were some simpler options that I could do around here, like putting a couple of little bumper stopper things on there and putting the sensor out on them. That would gain me maybe 50 centimeters or a meter extra sensor distance, but the hinge is going to add a lot more than that. So I think it's the right option. Oh, how did I not die then? I was lucky. I was trying to do a jump and it did not work out. There we go, hinge on the front and our sensor out the front. So now, if I go back to info, show sensor field range, sensor show on HUD, and we're going to go Big Mac, Mig Mac? Big Mac? Oh no, running out of oxygen. That's not good when I'm about to do a whole lot of talking. Now the Big Mac kind of does have a front and a back, so I'm going to call this Big Mac safety sensor front. And then we need to change our ranges. So front is going to go out to, let's say 15 meters. Back comes back to basically 0. Top can be basically 0. Right and left can come back to maybe 1.5. Should be all right. Pop down here and see what we can see. Yep, that's pretty good. Then bottom needs to come up to about 1 meter, maybe even less. And then you can see the shape that this is projecting in front. So the next thing I need to do is grab that hinge. And we go name it so that I can find it again. And I drop it down. And you can see now that this hinge has allowed the sensor, and this was a very sensible idea that many people suggested to me, allows the sensor to pick up rail that is quite a long way in front. So what we've got now, instead of a sensor being directly under here where I was basically less than a meter in front of those wheels, we're now 1, 2, 3, almost 4 blocks ahead, which is 10 meters. And if I adjust the hinge height more, so if I go back up, we can push it out even further. Sensor range goes halfway through the block. Perfect. 8 degrees. Yeah. Now I just need this to sense the correct thing. So it's not players, but it is stations and large ships. So the next thing with the safety setup was something that a few people suggested I look at, was whether there's a spot on the bogies that might be within the ready to lock range all the time. And I think there might technically be a spot, but I'm not sure I can actually get a mag plate in there. And it's effectively on what is, from the perspective of the suspension at least, the bottom of it. In here. Oh, I can. So if I can put a mag plate there, I think it will count as ready to lock at all times. So I'll get the parts and see. And what that means is, if I've got a mag plate on all of these suspensions that are mounted sideways, no, it's not ready to lock. See, that's the problem. Is one side ready to lock when the other isn't? Maybe? I was hoping it would be. That's the closest spot I've got. Okay, does this one lock? Oh. So maybe I could put mag plates on all of those spots, and they could be my safety device. I don't need any pistons, I don't need any hinges, I don't need anything fancy. And in theory, at all times, one side should be able to be ready to lock, and all I need to do is switch lock. So I might try and put these in, and that's our safety device. And I'll remove the piston. Hopefully, that means that I've got locking all the way along on every single car. The bogie design transfers across to the other train, so that's going to be fine. It means I've got the safety already planned. So yeah, I think that's the go. We'll see if it works. I'll get those built, and then we'll maybe load across to the sim. Big Mac safety locks. So, when I'm no longer sensing stuff, we need to lock. Because that should be instant, because there should always be some that are ready to lock. And just in case, enable auto lock. Now obviously I've only got this functioning in one direction right now. I do intend to put a hinge like that and a sensor on the back end of the train as well. So that is planned. But I think for now, all I want to do is get rid of these pistons. Sweet. All right, that's cleaned up. All right, let's jump into the sim and test this out. See if my safety device actually works, because oh boy, it'll be cool if it does. No, up in the seat. So this is the Big Mac sim. We've got the sensor set up as I currently do in my real world. We've got the simulation skybox. You can tell that it's a simulation when you can see the blueprint skybox, which I thought is a nice way for me to remember which one which one I'm in, so I don't go building in this one. Something I've just started seeing, and you can kind of pick it up here, which does worry me and probably requires more testing. I'm seeing sparks coming from where the suspensions are now. And I think these mag plates might actually be creating a significant problem. I think they might be creating an issue where yep, bye-bye wheel, where I can't go around these corners. Oh dear. Yeah, they don't work at all. I mean, I'm still going to drive off the end to see whether they can grab, but yeah, I need to get rid of them. They are a disaster. They can't cope with the change in angle of the corner. They're making the gap too small, and they're something that can't bounce off the coming bit of track the way that the wheel suspensions are. The wheel suspensions can. Now, I might be able to correct that by making the wheels hug the track more tightly, but I've found if I make them hug the track too tightly, they start doing very weird things and clanging out. So that's not really an option. Oh, just lost another wheel. And yeah, you can notice I'm losing all the wheels on the inside of the curve, which is what you would expect if it is the mag plates colliding, and when they explode, they take out the wheel suspension. Okay, so we're straight again. Now we can probably just drive off and see if this thing catches me. I'm going to just try and go as fast as I can. But those sparks that I'm seeing coming, they worry me. And apparently, for good reason. So curious if this is going to actually grab me though. We're at 26 meters a second. 27. 28. 29. Will we reach 30 before the end? Yes, 30 meters a second. Oh dear. Thank you, autosave. Now my sim needs to go back to a backup. Right. So that didn't work at all. So the new plan is not a good plan. We have to come up with another plan. Alright. Back to the real world. So even though that one didn't work, I do have another idea, and so I'll go and build that now, and I'll remove those mag plates, and then we'll take this new train into the sim and see if it'll work. So the new design I've got is this. I've got a hinge on either side with a couple of blocks and a mag plate on it. The hinge is set down... why do I always start my conversations, my explanations, without checking whether I have enough oxygen to do it? Oh, ow. Dang it. So as I was saying, I crawl under here, I can crawl through the wheels, and I can get and place these hinges on either side. The hinges are set at -5 degrees. That means that these can't auto-lock to the train itself, but the auto-lock is on both of these. What the sensor will do is set the velocity of these hinges to -60, which should smack them down into the track like this, allowing the lock to happen. Now, obviously, there's a tiny bit of delay there, as we saw that the auto-lock doesn't quite kick in as quickly as you'd like, but I don't think there's much we can do to fix that. My hope is that with the sensor on the hinge out the front, it combines with these being on every bogie. I've put these on all of the bogies, and fingers crossed, gives us an actual lock that works, rather than one that causes the bogies to slowly self-destruct, as they were doing when I was driving just before. So let's head back into the sim and see what we can do, and see if this one works. Please don't explode. Well, this is already going better. I haven't lost a wheel going around the corner so far. I'm going at about the same speed I was going before. Now, I shouldn't be going quickly around this corner right now. I am fully loaded with steel plates, so the train is as heavy as it can be. So this test is really as brutal as I can make it. Might need to test this a few times, so let's create a little save here. I can reload quickly. There we go, blueprint skybox, just to for proof this is test world. 16, 17, 18, we'll go 25. I think that's a good test. 25 meters a second, or thereabouts. Oh, I'm so nervous. Yeah, it didn't work. Oh boy. Oh no. Okay, so it's back to the drawing board for the safety devices. Yeah. Hinges not working. I don't know if they deployed. I probably should have that on my hotbar for future testing. I need to quickly go... So velocity is currently 60 RPM. Let's see if this actually even triggered. I wasn't sure if it even triggered. Yep, it triggered, but the locks didn't lock. Oh, now they did. With me helping it. Oh, wow, okay. So that's a situation. That is quite the situation. Well, it looks like it's a bit of back to the drawing board and probably a few more tweaks. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to give me some feedback on that, because I'm not sure exactly what to do here. My thinking is have a timer that gets spammed by the train to switch lock, or to lock those mag plates once they're down, because I'm suspicious the auto lock isn't triggering quickly enough. So what I need is them to go down and then have something spamming lock, and whether that will make this a bit safer. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that next time, so that we've got more ridiculous running trains off the ends of track testing for next week. This is all that and plenty more to come, and I will see you then.